art form or any kind of form of like storytelling. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mhm.
story. I don't mean art as like kind of a traditional way, but like as far as storytelling
I mean,
goes, I
dude,
think it's
art
art
is
form.
completely subjective. Anybody can
Yeah,
say
yeah,
something's art, you know.
exactly. Yeah. I think anything that tells a story or can make you feel emotion or whether that's good or bad is and I think it's hard for people to take out of their minds, Mario or Madden, because that's the thing now. Is it's playing Mario when you're a kid, then it's playing Madden when you're an adult, or maybe Call of Duty, and maybe and now Fall. Everyone knows about Fallout because everyone heard about that all year. But I mean, then you get games like like Journey and stuff like that, where it's like these kind of meaningful stories and like Uncharted, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. Just the scope and how it just feels like a movie. And you can tell interesting stories like BioShock. Like really interesting philosophical stories. And I think it's harder for people to wrap their heads around that. And when they see, like, I love watching the video where Fox News and it's Jeff Keighley, and they're talking
Jeff
about
Keighley is a cancerous man.
yes, but I mean, it was the Mass Effect. Like they're talking about how you can have sex in Mass Effect, and it's disgusting and terrible, and he's on there trying to defend it, and they're just like, "Shut up, Jeff Keighley. This is gonna
What do you know
little
about
boys
video
are
games, Mister Video Game Man?
like little kids are gonna want to have us.
Want to have
This is
gay sex
demeaning."
with a blue man?
And yeah, and it's just, and I remember like they're like talking after, and it was very one sided. Like it was almost like Jeff Keighley was just there to be that second voice, but it doesn't really matter. And they're like, man, I remember when man, it was just like Mario and little princess games, and now it's, oh my god, what's going on now? And it'll be a while before before people kind of appreciate video game. I think it's happening already, but I
It's
think
happening a
like
lot faster than other mediums have
yes,
achieved, though.
yeah, and I think video games are pretty mainstream now, but like I think in like 50 years it'll be just like
They'll
another
just
just
be
another
something
thing.
else to come out that people will decry. It's the same thing, dude. It's how
Yeah,
history works.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I remember when my grandpa. I remember because when I was little, I wanted to be a video game developer, not knowing that it took a lot of math, and I hate math. I never want to do math.
not knowing
I
that
guess
it
it.
takes math.
Yeah, yeah, not knowing all that stuff. But it was like I was like a real little kid, and I'm like, I want to be a video game developer. And my grandpa goes, "No, you don't want to get into that, Trey. Video games are bad. They're gonna go away." And I don't think so. I don't think they've gone away yet.
I specifically remember. I don't remember who it was, but and this is. I mean, it's relevant to things that go away.
Right.
I specifically remember people saying that dubstep isn't music, and that all
Yeah.
electronic music will just die. And look at where electronic music is now.
Yeah.
You know,
Still big. Yeah.
it's on the fucking radio. Like people listen to
Yeah.
that every day. And I
Oh yeah.
distinctly remember people saying that it's not music and it's just a fad or some shit like that.
They said that
You
about
know what else
rock
they
and
said that
roll.
about? I was literally about to say that. I was literally about to say rock and roll was touted as dubstep
Yep.
now,
Hmm.
as electronic music now.
Yeah.
They were like rock and roll is it's just a fad. It'll go away. And here we are. And metal is one of the biggest genres of music. Period.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of things are rock. Like you have country, you have metal, you have like gent music, and all of it is rock, and that's where it is now. So I'm really curious to see where video games are going to go because you start from one thing and then you make like 80 different fucking things outside of that.
Yeah.
Like so like there's video games, right? There's PC. They've evolved to console, to things that are in the home as
Yeah.
opposed to in an office. And then you have
VR. You know.
that's what to say.
That's
VR has came out. So
Yeah.
VR is where it's headed, but that doesn't mean that's where it's going to stop. And I'm really curious to figure out where it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I think you're always gonna. I think it's gonna be so many different ways you could play, and because I mean, with movies, you got so many different kinds of movies. You got avant-garde films. You got, and I always kind of put things to movies just because that's kind of my basis on things. Um, I think video games are, you know, I like people like to argue that video games shouldn't be movies, and I agree with that. But I think that's the closest medium um, I think business wise, it's probably the closest
Yeah,
medium.
yeah,
Um,
video games. I think that's why there's that comparison. While you're right that it shouldn't be compared to movies. That
no,
is all we have to compare it to.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
And it's the closest as far as this business goes to like
because well, also
we
because
uh
you can argue that it's you can compare it to games as in like board games,
yeah,
but that doesn't do it justice and that doesn't give it
no,
the recognition it deserves. So
no, and because with video games you have a production company, you have
yeah,
people who are making money and they're sending out this production. You have it's they are promoted like movies. They are created like movies. How they're distributed is like movies, with DVDs, stuff like that. So it's very similar, and even just like the business end too. Um, but yeah, I mean, so I don't know. It's yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they. I mean, they've already gone so far, and you hear all this stuff now, and I think like all the all like the little controversies you hear though too, like Gamergate and whatever shit you hear. I think that's actually a good sign in a way. Like that showing that people are really having serious even if it's fucking out there, even if it's so out there, it's just trash. I think it's still
I want to
good.
ask you an oddly political question.
Sure.
Are you conservative?
No. I'm
Okay.
moderate. I'm moderate.
Yeah. I am legitimately conservative, but not
Okay.
the not the
Fiscally.
not the perfect Christian way or anything like that.
Right.
I
I'm
wanna.
fiscally
Do you know who Milo Yiannopoulos is?
I do not know.
I will link you a video about him talking about Gamergate and
Okay.
why he thinks it is the best thing to happen in years.
Really?
Because he talks about how all Gamergate is people defending their hobbies, and they don't want people who play video games typically aren't as social as people who
Right.
don't, right?
Yeah.
Which is that's just I mean like not only is that a really good assumption to make, that's normally the case.
Yeah.
And so that's their hobby. That's their way of getting away from the shit that happens in life.
Yeah.
I say this while killing Germans right
Sure.
now in certain shit.
Sure.
You know,
Oh, trust
so
me. I've
like
had
and I
plenty
don't.
of conversations being in fraternity. How about, hey, we're about promoting the community and brotherhood, and then there's a guy drinking doing a beer bong behind me. I
Yeah,
get that.
pounding
I
a
get it.
fucking
I get
beer.
it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
But go on. Sorry.
Yeah, he's talking about how gamers were attacked uh, about like games are sexist or games are too violent or whatever,
Sure.
and the reason he thinks that Gamergate is such a good thing is because gamers are the first people to be like "fuck you," like to the media, like same thing like movies.
Right.
They just kind of lay down and take it. TV shows are the exact same thing. Video games were attacked a long time ago. The ESRB,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
the ratings board. Mortal Kombat was attacked, and the compromise was that in order for Mortal Kombat to exist, the ESRB had to be created.
Yeah.
So that right there
Yeah.
was already policing trying to happen in the video game world, and so the most recent thing of like quote Gamergate isn't something that's brand new. It's just the first time the gamers were like, we're not gonna sit here and take this bullshit that you're trying to push on us.
Right.
I'll send you the video. It's fucking
Okay.
awesome. I fucking love this guy. He is a gay conservative.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's called a Lincoln conservative, I think. Yeah. A log cabin conservative. I'm sorry. Not only I was yeah.
A Lincoln
Uh,
conservative.
Yeah, well, all those rumors. I mean, I'm more fiscally conservative, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
somewhat conservative. I'm cool with whatever. I don't like extremists on each side. I'm just
Well, I
sick
mean,
of the.
anything with extremists is bad. I mean, why do you think people hate like ISIS? ISIS are, you know.
Yep.
Let me see if I can find this Milo video.
But yeah, I know. I think also just like the whole. Yeah, that's interesting too. I mean, I think the whole conversation, about feminism and stuff. I think that's also good in the point that people are having serious conversations about video games. People are taking them seriously, and you get that with movies. Like there's a theory we learned, not a theory, but it's someone's opinion that we learned in a film class, and it kind of reminded me
I
of
DM'd you the video, by the
okay,
way.
okay, cool, thanks. I'll watch that later. Um, but
Well, it's 40 minutes, so I'd hope you'd
oh
watch
shit,
it later.
yeah. And it's the All right, so it was like we were learning about just like film theory and stuff like that, and we're also learning about like gender in film and whatnot. And the quote was, and this is kind of remind me of like a lot of the like Anita, whatever her name is, and the
Fucking Anita
feminist
Autism or
frequency,
whatever her
yeah,
name is. Yeah.
and all that stuff. Which and it reminded me of that sort of like because they said like this woman is not right. Like the opinions fall not it's not true, but it's an opinion in it, and it's the opinion was that women cannot appreciate movies unless they are masochists because movies are always from a male point of view, and
What the
it
fuck?
just it's a weird out there theory, and it's not true. It's out there, but it was like that's someone else's theory. That's a professional theory someone has or professional conversation, and you're video games for better or for
Yeah.
worse. I think you're starting to get that. You got people talking about that kind of stuff, like, hey, why aren't we, talking about this group or this group or this group? And I'm not at all for, bullying to try to, reach a quota, for different things, but I think having a conversation about it is healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's totally
Yeah,
fine to talk about it, but it's not okay to say yes, I'm going
no,
to talk about it, and then like shove your fucking views down someone's throat.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm all for like Star Wars. I thought it was cool that there was a black dude and a girl and a Hispanic guy. I thought that was great, and I think people who are complaining about that is kind of dumb because
No,
that was their
you see
artistic.
I do like that complaint. I like that that because it was like too diverse or not true to Star Wars or whatever. I would argue because there is this thing there's this thing called colorizing. It's the colorizing theory of television. It happened.
Mhm.
It started happening in 2010, where you know how shows get remade.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
let's take The
yeah,
Flash for
yeah,
example. The Flash on CW.
yeah,
Um, the Flash's love interest, like the girl, they recasted
yeah.
her as black, right?
Okay, yeah,
That's a totally fine thing to do, right? There's nothing wrong with that at
yeah,
all. The actress plays her part, right?
yeah,
But when say a show does that just to appease black viewers, to say, hey,
yeah.
there is
But
a black
that's
character in this, that's not
right,
right. That's
right.
not a right thing to do.
I think
Like
it's
to
very
have black
hard
characters
to
is
find
fine.
intent, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Like,
so, like to have a black character is totally fine as long as they are written that way. You should not try to
yes,
force a race or a gender into a role because you feel like it'll appeal to somebody. You should write it based on the way that you write it.
right. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
like it
I
makes
100% agree.
no
And I
sense
think
that
it
people
should
try
be
to
the best
shoehorn that
actor
stuff in
for the
there.
role too. I think it should be the best actor for the role too. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
who fits the part exactly,
yeah. It
and
shouldn't be
that black
status
actress
quo.
that plays that character totally fits that role.
Yeah,
So there's nothing wrong with that.
right. But if it's like, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. There are examples.
Okay. Let's say Star Wars 7 was just Star Wars 4 remade,
Yeah.
and Luke was casted as a black character. That wouldn't work.
Yes,
It's
because
that
that
simple.
is Luke
It's that simple.
Skywalker.
Because it's Mark Hamill. Mark
Yeah,
Hamill
that's
is Luke
true.
Skywalker. He will always be Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
To just recast him as some black character no one's ever heard of, the dude that played the character in Star Wars 7, the only thing I know him from is Attack the Block.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I've not. I've heard of it though.
Okay.
I think.
I'd suggest it. But here's the only thing he's been in. But the actor played that role in Star Wars 7 correctly. He played that role. It's not like he was shoehorned in there. He was definitely the actor for the part. Are there better actors that could have played it? Maybe, but he fit it, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I thought the casting was great in that movie too.
Absolutely.
I thought like, you know what the funny thing is? That was like the one thing. I mean, I love the movie, but that was like one of the big things that came out. Like, I was really surprised. Like, I'm talking about acting in a Star Wars film, you know, and it's yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah,
I was about to say if there was one character from Star Wars 7 that wasn't cast well, I'd say Kylo Ren.
yeah,
He didn't really fit the role he was trying to fill in that movie.
Have you seen a lot of Adam Driver stuff?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. I thought it was good, but I could see how like if you are familiar with the stuff, you could probably believe because he's very kind of quirky and odd in his in the stuff he's in,
Yeah.
and he kind of has a weird cadence. I can't really pick up what his accent is. But yeah, I could see that. I thought it was all right, but I could see how people didn't like him. I think a lot of people said they didn't really care for him that much, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think he played that part well. There
Yeah.
could have been better actors to fill that role.
Alright.
That does not
Sure.
make it a bad movie. That does not mean
No.
he was. That just means that he was casted badly. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I'm
take Tyler Perry, right?
Yes, yeah, I'll take
That
it.
man, that man is typecasted.
Yes.
He's not a good actor,
No.
but they make him play a part that he's good at.
Yeah.
Right? He
Yeah.
can only fill one role.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in the new TMNT movie, the Michael Bay one,
Yes.
he's playing the scientist. I don't remember his name from the '80s movies. I mean, the '80s cartoons. But it's the I think it's Baxter, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember.
I don't
But
know.
Tyler Perry does not fit that role at all. That character, Tyler Perry doesn't fill it. Tyler Perry's good at one thing, and that one thing is not that character.
And I could see that also being like because I know like they like to try to get actors to play different things, and it just doesn't work. A lot of times, sometimes
Yeah.
it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I think a good example is this is gonna be a really weird reference, but it's always my whole life stuck out to me. There was a version, a TV made version of Cinderella on ABC, I think, back in the '90s, and it was Mandy as Cinderella.
Mandy?
Mandy, yeah, the singer. I don't know, Mandy, I think, yeah.
Mandy
And
Moore?
she's- No, Mandy Moore, I think, yeah, Mandy Moore. I mean, she was a black singer.
A black singer? Oh no. You mean Brandy?
Yeah,
Yeah, Brandy. That's Ray J's sister.
yeah. Okay, Brandy and her stepmother, evil stepmom, was white, and the two stepdaughters were white and black.
Savage.
And she dated the prince. The prince was Asian, and his mom was Whoopi Goldberg and a white dude.
Dude.
That does not make sense.
Dude.
That is
That's dude, you know what that is? That's what I was talking about, where they're just like, we need to fit everything in here. We need to appeal
Yeah.
to everyone. That's not how movies work. That's not
No.
how video games work. Okay, like so Anita Sarkeesian complained about Gears of War because it was a misogynist game because men are all big and beefy and the girls are all tiny and petite, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a world, right? In a world where military in a world where military is all that has existed and the entire
Yeah.
race of that planet has been fighting, do you not think men would be fucking strong and muscular?
Yeah, in that world,
Do you,
sure.
not,
Yeah.
do you not think that the women wouldn't be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's their
There
world.
would be diversity in men because all they've done is fight.
Yeah.
That's why they look that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
So the complaint is that like, oh, it's not it doesn't appeal to it doesn't appeal to women because
But I think that's shit,
the
because
men,
I think-
the men are all beefy. Do women not like
Why
beefy
would that
dudes?
not? Yeah. That. I mean, girls like guy things too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
girls like things that are, it's. I mean, it's like
It's not
saying
even
a guy.
so
It's
much
like
about,
saying a
like-
guy can't like something that's girly. A guy
Yeah.
can't like Gossip Girl. yeah, they can. They can like that. You know, it's
Yeah,
I
anybody can like anything. There
yeah,
really shouldn't be a what I'm
yeah,
allowed to fucking like, what I'm allowed to
yeah.
appreciate. Do I like shooting games? Yes.
Sure, yeah,
Because I'm a guy? No, because
no,
I like shooting games.
yeah,
I've always liked them.
uh-huh,
Like, do I like first-person shooters? Fucking of course. It's my favorite
yeah,
genre of game. I like all kinds of FPSs. My girlfriend doesn't like FPSs. She likes Ratchet and Clank and shit like that, like a
yeah,
third-person platformers. She likes those kinds of games. I like them too, but not as much as she does. You know what I'm saying? Should a
yeah,
girl like those? Probably not, but she does.
yeah. And isn't like that? Wasn't there like some survey where now like more girls or gamers than guys are, or something like that? Like 50% of
Fifty-two
girls are
percent of the quote
yeah
gaming community
are
is men.
girls.
No, it's men.
Oh, I thought you were
48% is women, but
rare
that's a
girls.
very close.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that. You know, it's crazy. I haven't met any of them.
My girlfriend.
No, there you go. Yeah, and then the whole gaming thing, it also kind of goes into mobile games too. I think they count that.
Well, they go for mobile games because they already have their phones. It's just a
Yeah.
culture behind that.
Oh no, that's fine too. You know, I don't think they're good. I think I say Call of Duty's junk food game. Mobile games are the real junk food game. Like they are like drinking cokes. You know, it's just not. It's like yeah, it's. I think they're kind of addictive, in not a very good way.
Hmm.
It's not a whole. It's not a good experience. Like it's not a fruitful experience.
Yeah, you don't get anything out of it. You don't get any
No.
gratification. Yeah, and that's what you're
Yeah.
talking about when you're like, you don't like games that you don't get gratification. I don't think anybody does,
No.
but you know, there. I mean, of course, there are people that have to. I guess you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's some like Worms 2 on my phone, which is awesome.
Oh, Worms
But
2 is the shit. Oh,
yeah, dude, that's or I guess it's Worms Armageddon 2 Armageddon, but whatever.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Worms 2 Armageddon. I love that game. I have that game on
yeah.
PC.
Yeah. I played that game as a kid, I loved it. Like played it on my computer.
Hmm.
That was my jam, man. I love